so call our professional for Renegade, the lowest.
Notice. Time to cash in.
Every dog has his day, right?
Oh, wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Tonight's championship bout has been officially sanctioned by the RWA Board of Governors and its chairman, T. Phoenix. Your ringside officials for the evening. Your official timekeeper is Michael Santana, and when the bell rings, the man in charge, RWA senior official Tony Petrangelo. This bout is sponsored by BlueCotton.com, the official t-shirt provider of the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, Crystal Springs Water, Stallion Energy Drinks, and Off-the-Cuff Entertainment DJ Services. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment RWA fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the Chop Shop in Providence, Rhode Island, it's showtime! 60 minutes of professional heavyweight wrestling, one fall to a finish for the RWA Triple Crown Championship! Introducing first, wrestling out of the corner to my left, wearing blue and black. He stands 6'5" tall and weighs in tonight at 300 pounds. Wrestling out of Vulcan, Michigan. He is the 2014 RWA Rookie of the Year, presenting the number one contender, Break the Crane! His opponent, wrestling out of the corner to my right, wearing black and gold. He stands 5'6" tall and weighs in tonight at 175 pounds. Wrestling out of the Secret City. He is the 2014 RWA Wrestler of the Year, a former RWA Hype Champion, presenting the current reigning, defending RWA Triple Crown Champion, the Heat, Kris Pyro!
60-minute title match here for the RWA Triple Crown Championship. One fall to a finish. Kris Pyro and Frank the Crank. Probably the biggest man that Kris Pyro has had to face for his championship since he won the Triple Crown title.
Very, very, very interesting. Kris Pyro, obviously, been in the business a long time. Frank the Crank, obviously the Rookie of the Year last year. I mean, this could be a passing of the torch right here. Frank the Crank finds a way to pull it out on Kris Pyro.
Pyro charges and hits a forearm. He's going to have to chop the big Sequoia down. Frank the Crank just tosses Pyro into the corner. 300 pounds from Vulcan, Michigan, laying in the hurting bombs on the Triple Crown champion. Now you wonder, as Pyro tries to fend off the #1 contender, whether or not Pyro is completely focused, knowing that Christopher Dozer, after that display against his former tag team partner, is waiting in the wings for Kris Pyro.
Wow. Hard chop. Trying to chop him down, definitely. Literally and figuratively.
Frank the Crank, almost an entire foot and 125 pounds as he just uses a Polish hammer to take Pyro pot over tea kettle, and a bionic elbow hits the mark. Pyro, while he is the champion, is by far the underdog in this match. Cover here, 1, 2, and a kick out.
Well, Kris Pyro, the champion for a reason, my friend.
Pyro has been in some wars. The month off has done him very, very good after that dog collar match in the Thanksgiving Throwdown. And Frank the Crank, I've not seen him this intense in a match since he debuted as a kick out at 2 for Kris Pyro. The title definitely changes your mentality and your approach.
He is definitely ready to roll, no doubt about it.
Irish whip, Pyro into the corner once again, backs out, finds Frank the Crank. Frank the Crank walks up, belly to belly suplex.
Wow, very nice belly to belly right there. Amateur belly to belly, arm in.
Kick out just at 2, and Pyro trying to show the fans that he's still in control.
Very nice by Frank the Crank. Has that weird chin lock on. Really should have tried to apply the pressure with the knee in the back to really wrench him back on that, using his upper body strength that he has over Kris Pyro and his weight. See, Pyro was kind of easy to get up there.
Pyro, deceivingly strong for a guy his size. You've wrestled a couple of matches against Kris Pyro in your time here in the RWA.
I sure have. Nice suplex.
There's a cover, 1, 2, and that was the crankshaft that he hit. Pyro.
Oh, that's what he calls it, the crankshaft?
The crankshaft.
It's a roll-away suplex. It's very nice. You go against the grain and roll with the suplex. Super move.
Now Frank the Crank not staying on.
Measuring for something here. Oh.
Up and over goes Frank the Crank, and he's going to be dumped outside the ring.
Little low bridge.
And Pyro, this is where he excels. If Pyro can fly, he jumps onto the second turnbuckle, hits an enziguri, takes Frank the Crank down. And Pyro looks like he's ready to fly. Measuring Frank the Crank, off the ropes goes the champion. He dives, suicide dive, takes down Frank the Crank. And Pyro all of a sudden is starting to feel it. And this sellout crowd here at the RWA Chop Shop, our 2nd anniversary here at the RWA home. Seeing a great show and a major title match here tonight. Frank, oh, a power slam.
Power slam on the floor. That may change the whole complexion of the match.
Tony P, I believe he's up to 4. He is now up to 5. A tough job. First title match for Tony P. Triple Crown Championship match for him to officiate. You can see the deliberate pace on the count. Nobody wants this match to end on a count out.
No, why would you? I mean, these fans are all here, you know, ready to take in everything the RWA has to offer. This is a great main event. You know, young lion versus old lion. Not really old, but you know, in terms of years in the business. I mean, certainly, you know, the tale of the tape tells itself. I mean, Kris Pyro has been in the business a long time. Frank, oh, that's a leg drop right across the jawline.
1, 2, and a kick out. If it was 1986, we'd have a new champion.
Unfortunately, it is not 1986 anymore. If it was, I'd still be making money in this business.
Frank the Crank is climbing.
What's he looking to do?
Shot right to the knee, I think it was, by Kris Pyro. Really got to weaken the legs of Frank the Crank. It seems like an obvious strategy, but you got to chop the big Sequoia down, keep him grounded.
What's he looking to do?
Pyro, second turnbuckle. Frank the Crank has Pyro up, and this is going to end very, very badly for somebody. Pyro trying to fight off, and a sunset flip. Pyro, if he can get Frank the Crank over, may have this won. Look at how dazed Kris Pyro is right now.
Well, I mean, he definitely has taken a lot of shots from Frank the Crank. Like I said, it seems like that power slam on the outside of the ring really changed the complexion of the match. Kris Pyro not as light on his feet as he once was. Kris Pyro may be looking to go up to the high rent district, though.
Known for that 450. He's not going to hit it now as Frank the Crank gets up to his feet and catches Kris Pyro by the throat. Look for a choke slam, which we have not seen Frank the Crank do. Pyro is able to break it. And once again, Frank has it. And Pyro is up with a choke slam. Cover, 1, 2, and almost a new champion.
If this was 1997, brother, that match would have been over.
Absolutely. But it is 2015. We have the Flying Cars, Jaws 17, and the Cubs are going to beat Miami for the World Series.
Oh, my God. Really? Oh, he might be looking for that. The Crank Splash.
Pyro is out. Here's a cover. New champion. 1, 2, and Pyro grabs the bottom rope. And there's the rookie mistakes we have been referencing every once in a while. A ring-savvy veteran would have swept the arms of Kris Pyro so he couldn't get to that rope.
Well, you would want to try to pull him to the center of the ring so that way he wouldn't be able to get to any ropes at all.
Frank looking for that boot. Missed by Frank the Crank. Kris Pyro switches over and hits a on Frank the Crank. Pyro, a super kick right to the chin. And charging, Pyro takes down Frank the Crank. Pyro climbing to the high rent district. He may be able to hit that.
Might be that frog splash he's looking for, though.
It is the frog splash. He hits it. Cover, 1, 2, almost a 3 count and a retention of his title.
That was really close, Rob Massey. Really, really close.
Tony is saying that he had 2, maybe 2 3/4, but definitely a 2 count. And Kris Pyro can't believe it. This crowd trying to get behind the champion in Kris Pyro. You would have to think with how weak Pyro is after that power slam and the punishment's been taken. That Death Valley driver is probably off the table.
That one hurt.
Frank the Crank is going to go. He's calling for the crankshaft again. Shot to the midsection. Super kick right to the chin, and Frank the Crank. Another one right to the chin. Off the ropes goes the big man. Goes for the boot. Pyro has a 1, 2, and Kris Pyro kicks out.
You see what he did, though? He brought him back to the center of the ring to try to pin him. Frank the Crank, a very, very intelligent wrestler. He understands what he needs to do. It's the little tiny rookie mistakes that he makes that may end up costing him this match.
Frank the Crank getting Pyro back up. Off the ropes goes the champion. Coming back. Pyro, quicker than a hiccup, switches and plants Frank the Crank.
Looked like a bulldog out of that.
Frank the
Kris
Crank
Pyro going up to the top.
Pyro, top turnbuckle. What's he going to do now? Going for that frog splash again. A senton bomb. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. Kris Pyro wins.
And still RWA Triple Crown Champion, Kris Pyro.
What a tremendous main event here at RWA Shop-iversary 2. I would like to say a couple of things, Rob Massey. Number one, please visit rwawrestling.net for all your RWA training needs, merchandise, anything that you need related to the RWA.
Tickets to our next event.
Yeah, you can find it all on rwawrestling.net. Also, we would like to thank Beyond Wrestling. We would also like to thank Championship Melt for being here at the building to service all the fans with all the food needs that they could possibly want. I mean, I'll tell you what, the sandwiches that they have out there is something spectacular. The hot dogs as well.
Yeah, the hot dog's quite good.
Yep. And not only that, but I would also like to say congratulations to Kris Pyro for winning this match. What a tremendous show that we've had here tonight. I want to make sure that everyone knows that you can come live here to the Chop Shop and enjoy a show. You just let us know what you want to do. We have tickets to our next live event, which would be Elite Status.
That's March 15th at Manchester 65 in West Warwick.
West Warwick, Rhode Island. That is going to be a tremendous show. Chris Dozer versus Kris Pyro for the RWA Triple Crown Championship. Obviously, that has already been signed, as I know that all of you are following along. But ladies and gentlemen, for myself, the notorious handsome Jimmy Hansen, my cohort in crime, SNS is in the building. None other than Rob Massey. We're making moves. Let's do it.
2015 kicked off with a bang. What else does the RWA have in store? You got to be here to find out. Good night, everybody, from the Chop Shop.